Okay, so get this right. We are diving deep, deep into President Trump's second inauguration.
Mm-hmm.
But not the boring political stuff.
No.
We're talking about the stuff that set the internet on fire.
Yeah.
The stuff that everyone was like memeing and buzzing about for days.
Right.
So we got articles from The Independent and The Economic Times, plus, your own notes. And they all pointed to some seriously spicy viral moments.
It is interesting, how these small details can just capture the internet's attention and, spark these conversations about bigger issues like fashion or political gestures, even the influence of big tech,
It's like everyone was just glued to their screens, ready to overanalyze like every little thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of overanalyzing, let's start with Melania Trump's hat.
Yes.
That thing was basically a meme magnet.
A statement piece for sure. That wide-brimmed navy blue design.
Yeah.
From Adam Lips's collection. I mean, it just became iconic instantly, especially with that awkward, air kiss moment with Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
The hat was practically a wall between them.
Seriously. And then the memes exploded. People comparing it to cartoon characters, lampshades, you name it.
Right.
But it wasn't just about the laughs, right? It really got people talking about Melania's intentions.
Yeah.
Was it a subtle message? Was this like a power move? A desperate need for personal space?
Oh, the internet was full of theories, and it definitely fueled that perception of Melania as this unapproachable figure. What's interesting is how a single fashion choice can become so loaded with meaning.
Like every detail is under a microscope, especially when it comes to someone like Melania Trump.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, now for a moment, that really made everyone do a double take. Elon Musk and that salute during the celebrations.
That one went viral, like instantly.
You did.
There he is on stage, caught up in the moment, and raises his right hand in what a lot of people saw as a Nazi salute. I mean, the internet basically erupted.
I remember watching it live and thinking, wait, did that really just happen? And of course, the backlash was immediate and fierce.
Oh, yeah.
Like so fierce.
Rightfully so. Even though Musk later clarified on X that it was unintentional, like he didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
The optics were, shall we say, problematic.
Yeah.
Even the Anti-Defamation League, they even weighed in, saying that while there was no evidence of any Nazi ideology, the whole thing was just awkward.
Awkward is putting it mildly.
Yes.
But it wasn't just the salute, right?
Yeah.
Like Musk's whole vibe, the dancing, bringing his son on stage.
Yeah.
It all felt like a very public show of support for Trump.
It was, yeah. And that raises questions about the role of these tech giants in politics and the kind of influence they wield, especially considering some of Musk's, let's call them, interesting connections with certain political groups lately.
Yeah, it definitely sparked a lot of debate about where these tech moguls stand and how much power they wield.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to a moment that was a little lighter. George W. Bush's Playful Wink.
Ah, yes. A little bit of unexpected human connection amidst all the formality.
Right.
It was, a serious moment during the ceremony.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's Bush winking and grinning at someone in the crowd.
It was so out of the blue and people loved it.
Yeah.
Like that contrast with the stiff atmosphere made it instantly shareable, right? It was like this reminder that even in these like super orchestrated events, there's still room for genuine moments.
It did spark these discussions about Bush's personality and his legacy, with some suggesting we often overanalyze every gesture from these public figures. Maybe sometimes a wink really is just a wink.
But of course, the internet had to do its thing.
Of course.
There were all sorts of theories about who Bush was winking at.
Old friends.
Secret agents, you name it.
Oh, yeah?
Right. It just shows how online humor can turn the simplest things into cultural phenomena.
Yeah.
Plus, it was a welcome break from some of the heavier topics surrounding the inauguration.
Yeah, it was. Speaking
Speaking of heavy hitters, we can't forget the tech billionaires who showed up.
Yeah.
We're talking Bezos, Zuckerberg, Cook, Pichai. It was like Silicon Valley's A-list rolled in.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, their presence alone speaks volumes about the growing influence of tech in politics. Like, you couldn't help but wonder what it all meant. Potential deals, regulatory environments, their alignment with Trump's policies.
Right.
The speculation was endless.
Especially with many of them having contributed financially to the inauguration. And then there's that image of Zuckerberg with this intense stare at Bezos' partner, Lauren Sanchez, which instantly became a meme.
Oh, yeah.
It was gold.
The internet went wild with that one.
It did.
It's amazing how a simple glance can become such a source of amusement and fuel for the meme machine.
Right.
But on a more serious note, right, it highlights the complex web of relationships and power dynamics at play in these events. It makes you wonder what was going on behind closed doors and how those conversations might impact the future of technology and policy.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Okay, let's shift our focus to someone who's always in the spotlight, whether he likes it or not. Barron Trump.
Barron towering over everyone at 6'8". He was impossible to miss. I mean, even surrounded by all those powerful figures, he stood out.
I know his height instantly drew comparisons to athletes.
Right.
With people joking about his potential future career.
Uh-huh.
But there was also a lot of analysis of his demeanor, right? Was he bored? Calculating?
Yeah.
As a teenager awkwardly thrust into the public eye?
The internet, of course, had a field day with it.
Of course.
Speculating about everything from his future career to his relationship with his father.
It's interesting how much attention he got, even though he wasn't directly involved in the political stuff.
Yeah.
Right? It speaks to our fascination with political dynasties and the pressure that comes with being the child of a high-profile figure.
Yeah, and remember, he wasn't completely absent from the campaign.
That's right.
Melania even mentioned how Barron advised his father on connecting with young voters.
He apparently encouraged his dad to use platforms like podcasts and streaming services.
Oh, wow.
Which are hugely popular with his generation.
Interesting.
It's a reminder that young people consume information in very different ways these days. And it seems Barron played a key role in helping his father adapt.
Yeah.
Which just adds to the intrigue surrounding him.
It does.
Absolutely. He's clearly not just a silent observer, and it'll be fascinating to see what he does as he gets older.
Right.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the man delivering the inaugural address, Donald Trump himself.
The speech was, well, classic Trump, assertive, some might say divisive, full of claims about his mandate and the challenges facing the nation.
His comment about being divinely selected and the most tested president definitely raised some eyebrows.
It was a speech designed to solidify his base and set the tone for his second term. Yeah. And it certainly sparked a ton of discussion and debate online.
Then there's the fact that he chose to take the oath of office without a Bible.
Right.
That's a pretty big break from tradition. And sparked a lot of debate, both legal and symbolic.
Was it a statement about secular governance? A personal choice? Or just an oversight? Whatever the reason, it definitely didn't go unnoticed.
Right.
And added to the overall sense of unconventionality surrounding the event.
Okay, let's lighten the mood a bit and talk about the inaugural balls and performances.
Oh, yes.
Carrie Underwood's performance was a highlight, even though there were some technical difficulties that forced her to go a cappella.
Really?
She handled it like a pro.
Wow.
Showcasing her incredible vocal talent.
That's great.
She totally killed it, like a true the show must go on moment.
Wow.
And then there was Trump dancing to YMCA by the Village People.
Oh, my God.
It's both entertaining and thought-provoking.
It was, yeah.
It was like a throwback to his 2017 inauguration, and you could just see his love of showmanship. But it also invited critique about the song choice and what it might imply, given his administration's record on inclusivity.
Right.
It's amazing how a single song can spark such a heated cultural debate.
It does speak to the power of music and how it can be interpreted in so many different ways depending on the context and the audience.
Now, amidst all the pomp and circumstance, it's important to remember that this was also a moment of transition.
Yeah.
Right? There were several prominent Democrats in attendance, including Joe and Jill Biden, as well as Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff.
Right.
Their presence was a testament to the tradition of peaceful power transitions in the U.S., even in our current, hyper-partisan climate.
Absolutely.
And then there was Senator John Fetterman, whose casual attire really stood out against all the formal wear.
Yeah, it did.
His clothing became a topic of conversation. Some saw it as a rebellion against political norms.
Yeah.
While others viewed it as simply a personal style preference.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how something as simple as clothing can become a focal point for discussion in these settings.
Right.
It speaks to our tendency to overanalyze every detail and find meaning in even the smallest choices.
It's all part of the spectacle, isn't it?
It is.
And in a world where everything is instantly captured and shared online, there's no escaping the scrutiny that comes with being in the public eye.
Especially at an event as significant as a presidential inauguration. It's a moment in history that's ripe for analysis, commentary, and of course memes.
Absolutely. And it's through those memes, those viral moments, that we can often gain a deeper understanding of the cultural zeitgeist,
Yeah.
the anxieties, the hopes, the humor that defines our time.
It's like a real-time cultural debriefing happening on platforms like X.
It is.
But it also raises questions about how we consume and process information in this age of instant commentary and virality.
That's a lot to unpack for sure, but that's part of what makes these events so compelling.
Yeah.
They're not just about politics, they're a reflection of who we are as a society and how we interact with the world around us.
Exactly. It's this fascinating intersection of power, technology, and entertainment.
Yes.
And in a lot of ways, it feels like we're all still figuring out how to navigate it.
We are.
Okay, so we've covered the big, spicy, viral moments.
Yes.
But beyond those highlights, the inauguration itself was pretty historic. It was the first time in decades that the ceremony was held indoors.
That's right, due to the unusually cold weather that day.
Yeah.
And that logistical change sparked its own set of conversations.
Really?
Some people saw it as symbolic of a chilled political climate,
Oh, wow.
while others focused on how it affected the crowd size and the overall vibe.
And of course, the internet being the internet.
Of course.
There were tons of memes about people bundling up and braving the cold.
Yeah,
It's funny how even the weather can become part of the narrative.
it is.
Right. It's a reminder that these events don't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
They're influenced by everything from the weather to social media, and those external factors can shape how they're perceived and remembered. Totally. So I think we've done a pretty good job of unpacking the most viral moments from Trump's second inauguration.
We have.
But from your perspective, what was the most significant takeaway? What does it all tell us about the state of politics and culture in 2025?
That's a great question. If I had to pick one key takeaway, it would be this. We're living in an age of hyper-awareness.
Yeah.
Every gesture, every fashion choice, every word is instantly scrutinized, analyzed, and often turned into a meme.
Right.
And while that can be entertaining, it creates a unique set of challenges for anyone in the public eye.
It's like there's no room for spontaneity, no room for mistakes.
Yeah.
Everything is viewed through this lens of potential virality, which can be both exciting and incredibly daunting.
Absolutely.
It raises important questions about the future of politics and leadership in this kind of environment.
Right.
How do you stay authentic when every move is being watched and dissected?
Right.
How do you connect with voters on a human level when there's this constant pressure to perform and avoid gaffes?
Exactly.
Those are some big questions, and I don't think there are any easy answers. But it's something we all need to think about as we navigate this increasingly complex and interconnected world.
It is.
Well said. Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious. Did you have a favorite meme or a viral moment from the inauguration?
Oh.
I have to admit, the George W. Bush wink really got me.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know.
I have to say, I was quite entertained by the speculation surrounding Zuckerberg's intense gaze at Bezos' partner.
Oh, yeah.
The sheer range of theories and the Photoshop battles that followed were incredibly creative.
Oh, definitely. The internet's creativity never ceases to amaze me.
Never. It really does. You know, it highlights that playful side of the internet, even when dissecting serious political events.
Yeah.
But speaking of serious, I think it's time we address like the underlying question here.
Okay.
Why were these specific moments the ones that went viral? What made them so ripe for memes and online chatter?
That's a great question. I mean, there were plenty of other things happening at the inauguration.
Yeah.
Why did these particular events capture the internet's attention?
Well, I think it has to do with the fact that they tapped into these existing cultural narratives and anxieties.
Okay.
Like take Melania's hat, for instance. It played into this ongoing fascination with her public persona and the speculation about her relationship with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
The hat became a symbol of their perceived distance and fueled the rumors about their marriage.
It's like the hat gave people a tangible thing to latch onto.
Right.
A visual representation of all the unspoken tension.
Exactly. And then you have Elon Musk's salute.
Right.
That one touched a nerve because of the rising concerns about tech's influence on politics and the potential for these powerful figures to align themselves with certain ideologies.
Right.
The salute, whether intentional or not, became a lightning rod for those anxieties.
It's like it amplified existing fears about the direction of technology and the role these billionaires play in shaping our world.
Precisely. And then you have something like George W. Bush's wink,
Right.
which provides a stark contrast.
Yeah.
It went viral because it offered a moment of levity and human connection
Yeah.
in an otherwise highly orchestrated and often tense political event.
Right.
People were craving that bit of authenticity, that reminder that even powerful figures can be playful and spontaneous.
It was a much-needed dose of humor and a reminder that not everything has to be overanalyzed.
Exactly. And it's interesting to note how each of these viral moments offered a different type of commentary on the inauguration and the political landscape as a whole.
Right.
They reflected different anxieties, different perspectives, and different ways of processing the event.
It's like the internet was using these moments to collectively make sense of what was happening.
Right.
To find meaning and humor in a complex and often overwhelming political spectacle.
And that brings us back to your initial question. Why were these the moments that went viral? I think it's because they provided the perfect fodder for the internet's, meme-making machine.
Right.
They were visually striking, open to interpretation, and easily relatable to broader cultural trends and anxieties.
So it's not just about the events themselves, but how they resonate with the online audience and their existing cultural frameworks.
Precisely. These viral moments became lenses through which people could view the inauguration, offering different perspectives and sparking conversations that went beyond the traditional political analysis.
It's like the internet was creating its own narrative of the event.
Right.
One that was more focused on the cultural and social implications rather than just the political maneuvering.
And that's what makes this whole phenomenon so fascinating.
Yeah.
It highlights the evolving relationship between politics, media, and the online world.
Yeah.
The way we consume and process information is changing.
Yeah.
And these viral moments are a testament to that shift.
It's almost like we're witnessing a new form of political commentary emerge. One that's driven by memes, humor, and social media engagement.
And it's a form of commentary that can be incredibly powerful, reaching a vast audience and shaping the way people perceive and understand these events.
It's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
It is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these spicy viral moments,
right,
what's the main takeaway for our listener? What should they be thinking about as they scroll through their social media feeds and encounter these kinds of online discussions?
I think the key takeaway is to be aware of the power of these viral moments and to engage with them critically. Don't just accept them at face value, but question why they're going viral.
Okay.
What narratives they're promoting and what perspectives they might be overlooking.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the humor and the meme sharing. But it's important to remember that there's often a deeper meaning or message embedded within these viral phenomena.
Exactly. These moments can be entertaining and insightful, but they can also be misleading or manipulative.
Right.
It's up to us as informed citizens to analyze them critically and understand the forces that shape our online discourse.
That's a great point. So next time you see a meme or a viral moment circulating online, take a moment to think about what's behind it. What anxieties, hopes, or power dynamics is it reflecting?
And how is it contributing to the larger cultural conversation? These are the questions that can help us navigate this complex digital landscape and become more discerning consumers of information.
Right.
Because ultimately, understanding the power of these viral moments is essential for understanding the world we live in.
It's like a whole new layer of media literacy we need to develop.
Absolutely. We need to be savvy consumers of information, especially in this age of instant virality. But, it's not just about being critical.
Right.
It's also about appreciating the creativity and the humor that emerges from these online discussions.
That's true. Some of these memes are pure genius.
They are.
And they can be a really effective way to comment on current events and spark conversations.
Yeah, they can be incredibly insightful, offering a glimpse into the collective consciousness of the internet and how people are interpreting these major events.
Okay, so we've talked about the serious stuff.
Yeah.
The political implications, the anxieties, the power dynamics.
Right.
But let's be honest, part of the reason we love these viral moments is because they're just plain fun.
Of course, the internet has a knack for finding humor in the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
And inaugurations are no exception.
I mean, who doesn't love a good meme, especially when it involves politicians doing awkward things?
It's a way to humanize these larger-than-life figures.
Yeah.
And remind ourselves that they're they're not so different from us after all.
They have awkward fashion moments, they make goofy faces, they dance to cheesy music.
Right.
And the internet is there to capture it all and turn it into something we can laugh at and share with our friends.
It's a shared experience that brings people together, even if it's just for a fleeting moment of online amusement.
Yeah, and in a world that can often feel divided and chaotic,
Right.
that shared laughter can be incredibly valuable.
It can.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the main takeaway is this. These viral moments are more than just silly internet distractions.
Right.
They're a reflection of our culture, our anxieties, our humor, and our evolving relationship with politics and media.
They're a window into the collective mind of the internet, and they offer valuable insights into how we process information and make sense of the world around us.
They can be powerful tools for commentary, critique, and connection, but they also demand critical thinking and a healthy dose of skepticism. So the next time you find yourself scrolling through your social media feed and chuckling at a meme about the latest political spectacle, remember that there's more to it than meets the eye.
Right.
Think about the underlying message, the cultural narratives, the anxieties, and the humor.
Yes.
And most importantly, engage with it all thoughtfully and critically.
Absolutely, because in this age of instant virality, understanding the power of these moments is essential for understanding the world we live in.
Well said. It's been a fascinating deep dive, and I think we've given our listener plenty to think about.
Indeed. I hope they've enjoyed our exploration of these viral moments and that it's sparked their curiosity to delve deeper into the complex interplay of politics, media, and the online world.
As always, it's been a pleasure diving deep with you.
Likewise.
Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.